Hi there, my name is Zoe, and in today's video, we are going to be looking at how to do a head slide, which is probably a movement that many people think of when they think of belly dancers. Even though we don't actually use it that much, it is definitely useful to know how to do because people kind of expect it. So we'll be looking at that, and for a little bit of a more advanced movement, we will be layering that onto a traveling step. So let's get started. We are just going to start by warming up our neck a little bit before we do this. So just turn your head from side to side here, very gently. Good. And let's bring the neck down. And hands behind the neck here as we're going to lift. And again, down, lift. Good. Let's do one ear to the shoulder and to the other shoulder. Really important to warm up our neck before doing any sort of head movement. Let's circle little half circles here from one side to the other. And then maybe a very gentle big circle, not crunching the back of the neck. We never want to crunch the back of the neck. Great. And feeling our head sitting on top of our spine. Let's make sure also that our head is in the correct position. So it's very, very, very common for people, especially if you sit at a computer all the time, to have your head kind of in a forwards position, right? I'm sure that's going to be familiar to many of you. So we want to, of course, counteract that. Very important, especially for this movement. So one little exercise is to take your hands behind your head here and push with the back of your head into your hands. And like bring your chin kind of down and in here. Feel the back of your neck lengthening. This should feel really good. And this is kind of where you want to be. So this may feel very, very different for you from your normal head posture. So just do this exercise, every now and then, or maybe while you're doing some hip isolations, you can do this just to remind yourself of where your head and neck should be. So release your hands. Now, keeping that head back. Yeah, so making sure not forward. Let's take our hands to the side of our face, and you want to have them just a few inches from your ears. So here's hands touching, and then just bring them out a bit. And now, keeping that head back, we're going to slide and try to touch our thumb with the jaw. Or you can also think of trying to bring your ear to your hand here. Look straight ahead. So you want to keep your head on the same plane as you start doing this slide. So just gently going here. It doesn't have to be huge, and it shouldn't feel too tense. You don't want to have too much tension in there. Just going from side to side. So a few common pitfalls to look out for. One is, of course, having the head forward. Now you can see it doesn't look very good, right? So bring the head back as you do this. So none of this. That's not good for your neck. Bring the head back. The other one is you might want to tilt your head. So really use the hands. If you have a mirror, that's also good. Check that your eyes are staying level as you do this. And that is your basic hip slide. Of course, the position that I think is most famous, having our hands up here, doing this. Of course, that can be really fun for some kind of old school fantasy type belly dance, this here. But now we are going to look at layering that with our feet. So once you have your basic head slide, and of course you can go back and practice a little more till you get it, let's put it on top of a little foot pattern for some extra fun. So what we are going to do with our feet in releve, so on the balls of our feet. All we're going to do is do a little cross step to the side. So we're just gonna step back and then cross forward, traveling in the direction we're crossing. Small steps here, nothing too big. If it's too big, you lose your balance. So again, stepping just out, so my hips are about straight here, and then crossing. Step, cross, and then to transition, we'll just do a step, and then go the other way. So stepping back, crossing forwards, stepping back, crossing forwards, back, forwards, back, forwards, and step, and transitioning. So here we have our step, and we change. So that's the step. Now, of course, we're going to add the head. So the head is just going to slide the same direction as whichever foot is stepping. Pretty simple. Simple to say, not as simple to do, but let's try that. So if you can, find your balance. If the balance is too hard, you can also start with your feet flat, of course. You can always try that. But eventually you do want to get up into your releve position, and nice and slow. Step with the head slide, cross. Head slides the other way. Step, cross. Step, cross, step, cross, and step. Let's go the other way. Step, cross, step, cross, step, cross, step, cross, and step, cross, step, cross, step, cross, step, cross, and change. Cross, step, cross, step, cross, step, cross, step. Okay, so that's part one. Extra fun. We are going to throw in a little hip movement. So we're going to do kind of a little suherzaki movement. If you're not familiar with that, there is a whole video on that movement. It's basically just a hip drop every time we step. So here you're going to really use your obliques. Keep those heels high, very important. Keep the heels high so that your legs are level, and just let your hips drop as you step. And then with the cross, it's just the same. We're just crossing instead of staying in place, going the other way here, and down, and down. And now let's put the head slide on top of all of that. So, ready? We do. Step with the hip drop and the head slide. Cross with the hip drop and the head slide. Drop, 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 drop. Other way. Drop, 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 drop. Now, in actuality, when I do this step, usually I mostly only emphasize the drop stepping and not so much crossing. It's a bit easier, and I think it also looks a little better. And I also would emphasize the head sliding in the direction of travel. So instead of being equally drop, drop, it's more like drop and 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 drop. Other way, drop and drop, 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 drop. Good, let's do that again, both ways, and then we'll put on some music and drill all of those variations. So, 5, 6, 7, 8. Step, cross, step, cross, step, cross, step. Dropping those hips, step, cross, and other way. Step, cross, step, cross, step, step, cross, step, cross, step, cross, step. So much fun. Okay, let's put on some music. We'll drill first just the head slide, then we'll add the feet, and finally we will add the hips. So that was how to do a head slide with a little bit of extra added fun in there. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful for you. If it was, please don't forget to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much for watching, and happy practicing.